feedback. How long do you think it went? Did it feel really... Did you see it? Yeah, so now it was an hour and 35. Yeah, it was quite big. I think the reason also that it was quite big this time was because of the clipothic veils that we did. Yeah.
And I noticed, because you didn't repeat it, usually on the other ones you
repeat it as well, yeah.
Just started twice, and you said it once, and still it went longer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't actually expect it to go as long as it did, to be honest. But it's like that thing that I was saying, Christiana, from before, about like some of the pauses had to, like they were longer. Do you know what I mean? So where I wanted to go forward, it was like, no, they need a little bit more time, you know, so we stayed a bit longer. So that's the way that it worked.
I was dozing off a lot the first time this happened.
Sorry, say that again?
I was dozing off.
You were dozing off? Yeah, that can happen. When you're in deep process, that can happen.
And the second time.
Really? Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Right. So it was working on throat, yeah. Okay, cool. Did anyone have any obstacles with it? No?
Removed the obstacles.
Yeah.
And aim, the uncertainty, the first row, and then over there I had a big, immediately as soon as you got there, this massive...
The Ein Sofer thing, yeah?
Yeah, the uncertainty there, lump, and it's, they project the light on it, and over there was this like incredible emergence of unloading. All
really?
Shit.
Wow.
A lot of shit, a lot of the coming out now. And then it just like, it was just like all out, but really on a physical level, I felt that, it was this thing, they're all coming out.
Like purging, sort of.
Yeah. And then just afterwards, just everything. I really get like a lot out of it. Yeah. And I know immediately, like after, even before that moment and after, I already feel, in at that, wherever it is, leap. I feel the leap within it. And just feel like so like, I don't know.
Like a lightness from it.
A lightness, an empowerment, all this stuff. I just really literally feel that. Clearing of the way through the law. I feel it immediately.
It was like look at them.
Yeah.
Look at them.
You shut your nose in it.
They're
I found them, the first two, I found them harder than the rest. Like it was more dark and then it started
to lift. Yeah, that makes sense as well.
It was a bit more like all over the place and confused.
You know what else it is? It's because like with the first ones, you just got into the... It was darker as well and heavier, but you got into... You were trying to grasp the ideas and the concepts and the processes, whereas now, because you've worked them again and again, the processes and unbelievable have become more familiar. So it sort of becomes easier to process, but it doesn't always work that way. Like, for example, Eleanor's example of a hiccup on, day 4, which is, 4 months down the line kind of thing. So it depends, depends on what's going on.
But I also felt it in it was sort of, for each process, it was pointing like to certain directions that there is like darkness or issues. And,
right.
It's like, it was more mathematical for me, like, clearing out points mathematically. legal.
Right, like a precision kind of thing. Yeah, I
And
got what you
then
mean.
at the end it creates sort of like, anything like Metatrons or something.
Yeah. Okay. Is there
It's
anything?
like building up in a way.
Yeah. Was there anyone? Did anything have anything to ask about it? You all good? Adriana, you okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what really happened.
I like our
It can be very cryptic as well. This
Yeah,
one, it's
so
like
I don't really like when we entered the what's called the uncertainty,
oh yeah.
and it was like darkish. I
Mhm.
couldn't see anything, and then the light on it, and I saw mostly
Geometric shapes.
Yeah, and and then when we're supposed to became like an order, like everything just came together.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
kind of other part of me, and got this shape of me, like another part of me. I don't know if it's good or bad.
It could be just is, doesn't have to be good
Yeah,
or
it's
bad.
not-
It's just a shift, do you know what I mean? Christina, apart from feeling sleepy, you okay?
Είδα στη ζωή διαδικασία, αν το παράξενο ήταν ότι ενώ νιώθω ας πούμε ότι ήταν τούτον το state, έβλεπα εικόνες ολοκάθαρες. Πιο
Okay.
καθαρές που έβλεπα η φορά.
Yeah, because you've often said that you don't sometimes see clearly. Is that correct?
No, it's me that I have a problem.
I see, but
Ah.
this time the images were like, it was like...
Very clear.
Mm.
Ah, okay, got it. All right, very
So
cool.
it's ήταν παράξενο. It was very strange to feel that, but at the same time see it so clear.
Okay,
So I don't know.
interesting.
And I also remember when she said feeling, that I had a really strong feeling in my
Solar.
yeah. And it was like a strong emotion,
Mhm.
and like I felt like even crying, but then it went away.
All right.
Like, bouncing and
I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. That was one of the archetypes. Yeah, yeah. Everyone is in taxi. Yeah. Okay.
It was the first time I had enough time.
Yeah.
The priestess was as well. I found it very.
Yeah. But the archetype is a bit like that. Yeah. So it's like an invitation,
But
you know.
it shifted though. I think it like shifted.
Yeah. It's again, if you have like the reins over that situation, do you know what I mean? Because it's like I said, we don't really want to journey in the clip-off or anything, but at the same time, as far as darkness and dart is concerned and all of that, we need to be able to get that disclosure so we know where we're at with stuff. Do you know what I mean? And then we can apply process to change those things. Because if you're not willing to look at the dark stuff, right, then you can't actually change really, not deeply and authentically, if you're not willing to go there. Sometimes there's other issues involved. Sometimes you're willing to go there, and for whatever reason, there may be like disruptions that won't allow you to access that. Do you know nella storia? That's different. But what we're saying here is that there needs to be a willingness, and there needs to be the courage to want to go there in order to move forward. That's what we're saying with a lot of these processes, you know.
I found it the strongest from.
Really?
Yeah.
For you, the strongest?
But in a very like okay, it was tiring.
They are though. These
But
processes
it's,
are.
I think it's clearing even more like towards like a clearer path in
Yeah.
general. That's how I felt it.
Malista. Very cool. Alrighty.
For me, it was extremely rejuvenating.
Really?
Yeah, extreme. Like, of course, I had that thing.
Yeah.
A lot of discomfort, and all this, but it was just like very easy to follow. Like, it's exactly what I needed to hear, how I needed to hear it, the words, the right,
The guidance to access sort of thing.
the guidance that it was just like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just like really.
Un po' la panela che makes it thank you a million times.
Yeah, it's just like.
Yeah.
Thank you and thank you and thank you.
Thank you.
And then the guy in your head, I feel really, I love gratitude, I feel really blessed. It's just so, because I can get really busy and I can get really lazy with myself.
Yeah.
And then it just, and let's just discount, like this happens or whatever, this process, and it just puts like me back in place.
Right.
Right there immediately. It doesn't need any other prepping.
So again,
I feel comfortable.
hearing things like this, and I think we all need this Leon is more work and self-mastery on the polarity thing. Do you know what I mean? Because, we hit a certain level and then we swing back the other way. I do it as well all the time. So it does need, do you know what I mean? So that we can be less polarised, so that we can hold a state, even if we're busy, even if we're stressed, but to be able to, I think it's very important to be able to hold the level of vibration at a decent state. Do you know what I mean? So that's the polarity. Polarity and rhythm, Jamie. Do you know what I mean? That's, so just bringing that to your awareness.
And also the discipline part, like the chariot.
Right,
like
exactly.
It was about discipline,
Exactly.
Emotional discipline, that was
being
so
able
brilliant.
to hold the reins, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the willingness and the emotion.
Yeah.
And it's always, I'm always like so pleasantly surprised, because before when we're going over it and we're doing it like this, and it's almost very scientific, alchemical, and then the process.
Yeah, because it's all when we're explaining it, right? It's all logic. Do you know what I mean? But when you're in process, it's a different story, isn't it?
It comes
Yeah.
together differently. It's the right dose of both. That's
Yeah.
what I'm. And it was just like that.
So
The
that's.
alignment was. It was all. Yeah, it's correct.
She's in the groove for this one.
No.
It's excellent. Brilliant. So I've got a question for you all before we wrap it, and that is about the clipothic shadow vows again, because it's the first time that we did it this time. Ein Sofer is the limitless light, which is the positive side, and Or Atheos, the uncertainty, right? So what I wanted to ask you guys is, when we stepped into Or Athiel, the uncertainty, who got clarity there?
I think I did.
I didn't. I didn't actually get the clarity, but I was able to proceed with the separation and to, to do the deconstruction and stuff. It took you a bit of time.
At the end,
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was confusing, but when we were finishing, it cleared.
Cleared. Okay.
And I enjoyed that.
Danendono.
Yeah.
Very sharp for you guys.
Not only in terms of feelings, but in terms of viewing the uncertainty.
Clearing.
Right. The clearing of the uncertainty, or seeing it.
And seeing it, I saw that the uncertainty I have in life, a real life situation, I was
Right.
there.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where it took me as well.
Right.
Specifically.
So just know that this really it ramps up over the next couple of ones. This portion it's very important stuff. Do you know what I mean? With those veils and being able to step into them and do the correct alchemical process for those. Brilliant. Thanks for the feedback. See you later, folks.